Good evening and welcome all of you. Today evening it's 4:35 और deAsra फाउंडेशन के जो सब एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं उनका मैं स्वागत करता हूँ. We are also live on Facebook. Today with us we have Dr. Jyoti Gokte and also our expert Prakash. Dr. Jyoti Gokte ma'am, welcome to this discussion.
Thank you.
And we are also going to have some interesting interaction related to what we call as business loan readiness program. So we have been having these different programs, at deAsra Foundation, which are related to encouraging entrepreneurs to, get into processes, activities, and also various other resource related usage that is going to benefit them to start, manage and grow. तो आज ऐसा ही एक प्रोग्राम है बिजनेस लोन रेडीनेस के बारे में. तो ये प्रोग्राम क्या है इसके बारे में हम डॉक्टर ज्योति गोप्ते इनसे जान लेंगे. लेकिन उससे पहले मैं थोड़ा सा deAsra फाउंडेशन के बारे में बताना चाहता हूँ. डॉक्टर आनंद देशपांडे जो परसिस्टेंट सिस्टम्स के फाउंडर है और deAsra फाउंडेशन के भी फाउंडर है, उनका ये फैमिली फाउंडेशन है और पिछले 7 सालों से, सो इनफैक्ट वी आर इन आवर एनिवर्सरी वीक. तो deAsra फाउंडेशन का 7th एनिवर्सरी चालू है. This week is deAsra's anniversary week, and in last 7 years we have helped many more than 130,000 entrepreneurs by now, and we are really thankful to all the experts like Dr. Jyoti who have been with us on this journey, and our team members like Prakash and many more who are extremely enthusiastic, energetic, and always eager to support entrepreneurs in various domains, various fields, and various business areas. तो हम सब entrepreneurs को हमारी anniversary के लिए we also wish all of you all the very best and congratulations for the reason that you are also part of this journey of deAsra Foundation. We don't consider entrepreneurs any different than deAsra Foundation. All of you are deAsra Foundation, and it's our anniversary, which is this anniversary week that is going on. So Dr. Jyoti Gokte एक expert है finance के area में. वो खुद she has been an entrepreneur and she has more than 30 years of experience in the field of accounts and finance. And when it comes to business, money is the key area. And if you are able to understand, manage, and multiply the money, then I think you got it right about your business. तो इसके बारे में हम आज के सेशन में जानने वाले हैं डॉक्टर ज्योति के साथ. और गोप्ते जी हमारे साथ बहुत सालों से काम कर रहे हैं और उन्होंने बहुत सारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को गाइड किया है, लोन के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर की है, गाइडेंस किया, एक्सपर्टीज शेयर की है. तो आपके भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस है तो प्लीज फील फ्री टू पुट देम इन द चैट बॉक्स. वी विल बी एक्सट्रीमली हैप्पी टू आंसर दीज क्वेश्चंस, क्योंकि वो क्वेश्चंस आपके प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस से होंगे, आपके बिजनेस के बारे में होंगे. कहीं आप बिजनेस लोन के बारे में अटक रहे हो, कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स है, कुछ चैलेंजेस है, तो उसके बारे में भी आप बताइए और हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स आंसर करेंगे. फेसबुक पर भी ये प्रोग्राम अभी जारी है, तो फेसबुक पर जो ज्वाइन हुए हैं उनको भी मैं यही रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि आप सब भी इसके बारे में कुछ क्वेश्चंस है तो डालिए और वी विल आंसर. Over to you, Dr. Jyoti Gokte, and we are eager to learn about business loan readiness. But first, before that, I have one question. We are now almost crossing the third wave or third, time that we have moved out of this pandemic. आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा है कि जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स अभी who have sailed through, उनके लिए लोन का इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है in today's context, and how should an entrepreneur prepare oneself for this loan or any sort of financial support that we want to take. So your comments on the present context situation. budget भी अभी जारी हुआ है तो उसमें भी कुछ ना कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग इंटरेस्टिंग बातें होंगी जो हमें समझने के लिए क्यूरियोसिटी है. तो ओवर टू यू डॉक्टर.
Good evening, everybody. And on this occasion of 7th anniversary of deAsra Foundation, I wish all budding entrepreneurs as well as the existing entrepreneurs the very best. And आप जरा all of you आत्मनिर्भर बनके कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा हमें, और अपना जो इंडियन इकोनॉमी है and our own economy also we should progress. अभी ये जो करंट पैंडेमिक है अभी ओपन अप हो गया है, ऑल डोर्स आर ओपन नाउ, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटीज हमारे सामने आए हैं. कंज्यूमर्स का जो साइकोलॉजी है वो बदला है. एट द सेम टाइम अकॉर्डिंग टू आई मीन एज पर द कस्टमर्स वी आल्सो एज अ बिजनेस पर्सन हैव टू change our dealings in the business, and that we call is a disruption, or we say that post COVID life. This is very, very important, and the most important, you must be listening these things from various sources. That is, we need to be, as a business person, we need to be resilient about it. What is the meaning of resilient? वो जो कुछ challenges होगा, जो कुछ failures होगा, जो कुछ disruptions होगा, वो सब बाजू में रख के हमें अपना जो कुछ business plan है वो continue करना पड़ेगा. उसके जो operations है वो सब we need to ensure that those are becoming very, very profitable and productive. That is very important. एंड अभी ये जो पैंडेमिक है उसमें जो सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग होगा, नहीं तो रिमोट वर्क स्टाइल होगा, ये सब दीज ऑल हैव फोर्स्ड द ट्रेडिशनल इन पर्सन बिजनेसेस लाइक अभी जो रेस्टोरेंट्स हो गए, इवेंट सर्विसेज होगा, रिटेल बिजनेसेस, वो सब अभी बदल गए हैं. और उसमें जो क्रिएटिविटी उसमें थोड़ा सा डाल के वो वी नीड टू हैव बेस्ट सॉल्यूशंस by going into deep into the consumer's mind, or we need to have that very viable and feasible kind of business which will sustain in the market. And अभी इसमें revenue कम हो गया है, अपने जो ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट है वो बढ़ गई है, कैपिटल कॉस्ट ज्यादा हो गया है कभी कभी. देन अभी सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर ज्यादा हमें स्ट्रेस देना पड़ेगा. मोर फोकस हैज टू बी आल्सो ऑन द टेक्नोलॉजी साइड, maybe the processing of data, maybe the information. We need to have few apps to support the businesses, and there are so many other challenges, but we have no other go than doing these things. That's the most important. Now what we will do, I'll share my screen and we'll start our program. Now this is a business loan readiness program. We'll start with this. Now, before we go to the business loan section, everybody has to go through this business model canvas before you start any business. If you have not done that, you have just started it, but see to it that you put everything in this 9-block business model canvas and see whether you're on the right track. In this, I will tell each and every block in detail, but these are like key partners, key activities, key resources, value proposition, customer relationship, distribution channels, customer segments, then cost structure, revenues, your benefits, timeline, risk, and pricing. These total 9 plus 3, there are 12 boxes are there, and the details are like this. In key partners, there are suppliers, the main suppliers of maybe raw material, maybe the technology, maybe the internet. Then the service providers, like your consultants and all those people. Then there are partnerships, like you need to have the strategic alliance with few partners, sometimes with the competitors, sometimes there is a joint venture, the buyer-supplier relationship. For each and every business, the partnerships are different. It depends on their business model. Now, the key activities which you are doing, maybe you are manufacturing something, producing something, or you're providing the service to the customers. Then in key resources, which are the resources for any business, is the human resource. That is the team which you will be working with. Then the physical resources are there. For example, your place of business. Then intellectual property, that is the trademark, patents. These are your resources. And the financial resources like your loans, your own finance, and of course the technology part of it, which is absolutely the need of the day. Now, when we are talking about the business model canvas, the first important is we need to see who are our customers, for whom we are creating the value. Then what are you going to offer to the customers? What are the products? What are the services which you are going to offer it to them? Then the next point comes is the value proposition. Value proposition, that what value you are going to create for your customers and how you are creating that value, how you are generating that value, whether that will be, it will be satisfying to the customers, or what more things you need to do. What are the problems of the customers which you are going to solve? These all is your USP, that is unique selling point, that is value proposition. The next dimension comes like how you are going to generate your profits. In the model, you have to see what type of revenue stream you are going to have. Then what is your cost? Then in the cost, like you are keeping the relations with the customers. Are there any costs which is involved in that? Now you are selecting the distribution channels, whether it is on commission basis, whether it is on discount basis, what type of distribution channel you are going to choose. And on that, the cost is also involved. So important costs incurred, which are those? Then at the same time, are there any fixed costs which you need to incur, or variable cost? Fixed is which doesn't vary, is called fixed cost, and variable is like day to day, whichever are going to change. Those are the operating costs. And then which resources are more expensive? Which qualities, which activities are more expensive? And whether your business is cost driven or value driven, and accordingly the pricing is also will vary. These all things which are important to take care of in your business model. And now, after the pandemic, see, this is what, anyway, you will have to have this business model. But after this pandemic, there are few more things which you need to do for the new normal business conditions. Document your main business model, which I have already explained you. Now, the next point is you need to update now your business ecosystem. What is that? What are the change drivers now? Those are change drivers, means whether it is a customer or whether it is a technology or the supply chain, distribution channel, what type of ecosystem has already now come into existence, that you will have to see. Then accordingly, you will have to develop your scenario. What type of scenario you need to create. Don't create any scenario more than 5 years now, because nobody knows where we are heading. So it's always better to have your scenario design only for 2 to 3 years. That time horizon you need to take into consideration, and accordingly you will have to develop this scenario. because there are many businesses like the mobility or the transport, the energy, the agriculture, then hospitality. Everywhere there is a disruption, and lot many things are coming up. Lot many things are getting obsolete. So the most important is only 2 or 3 years plan you need to do. Now the next is you will have to analyze the impact on your business model. You need to imagine your worst cases or best cases scenarios in front of you, evaluate everything, and accordingly you will have to put your customer segment in that, and see for yourself, give a 100% thought, talk to the people about these things, talk to your colleagues, talk to your team, talk to your consultants, even the customers. And the most important, remember one thing, in the traditional businesses, the customer was different, but now one needs to become a friend of a customer, because he is going to give you all the feedback of your product. So make him partner in your business, not in terms of the partnership or something, but partner in terms of basically the thought process which you need to exchange. And for that you need to have the partner in, you need to have the customer with along with you, so he's going to give you all the feedbacks. Then accordingly you need to identify all the opportunities whatever are in front of you. And that time also, again, as I said, that whatever the changing customer needs are there, whatever the skills which you have acquired now in this during pandemic time, that also you need to rethink about it, and accordingly you rebuild the whole your structure and identify the new opportunities. Then the next is, the sixth one is the develop the post-COVID-19 vision for company. There are many companies who have traditionally, who you have started it. You do not have your vision, you do not have mission or the objectives, you have not design anything, but this is the right time to do it. If you do not have vision or mission and value systems or objectives of your company till now, this is the right time to design everything and keep everything in front of you. And that vision is how you can see your company maybe after 20-25 years. Then the mission is at the moment what you are focusing on. Accordingly, you need to have your objectives, and the value system has to be like a absolutely like a stamp on your company, that I'm not going to go out of these value systems. That is what you need to build up, and that will definitely help your mind and the customers' hearts and minds also. And the last one is to roadmap for further procedure. So whatever you have developed, the scenarios, what type of ecosystem you have developed, what type of business model you have created, what is the vision, mission, and everything. Accordingly, you need to have your roadmap. Who is responsible for which areas? What action is required? How you can track those, how you can monitor all the indicators. That is very important, and accordingly, you need to do this. Now, see, why do you need money in your business? You need to start your business. Naturally, you need funds. You need to buy building. You need to buy machinery. You need to pay day-to-day bills, operating expenses. You need to pay to your workers. Then internal growth. Internal growth means there are two types of growth. One is internal growth and the second one is external growth. When we talk about the external growth, that means that either you are taking over or you are merging your company or you're amalgamating. This is called external growth. But internal growth means you are taking some decisions on your own just to have that growth. For example, maybe the seasonal or non-seasonal period, or sometimes you need to train your people for maybe the post-pandemic period. This is all again the internal growth you are going to do. Then at the same time, the emergency funds, at least 3 to 6 months emergency funds you need to have. And for the expansion of your business, for everything you need money. Now, this is what the business cycle is. What happens? You have your own investment. You take loans from the banks, and that is how you create your capital. And when you have the capital, how you spend, you either buy machinery, you buy raw material, but of course, those you buy from the suppliers. There are suppliers of machinery as well as raw material suppliers. Then what happens from your capital investment? That money goes to the suppliers. At the same time, you incur production cost, like you have to pay to the labor, accessories, then some processing cost, and there are many other production costs are there. Then operating cost, like whichever comes in profit and loss account, that is the admin, then accounts charges, marketing charges, sales, HR, and so many other operating expenses. Even small, all day-to-day, whatever you are, maybe the petrol, maybe the transport, then the internet expenses, these all are your operating costs. And the finance cost, that what does that mean? When you are taking loan from any bank, you need to give interest on those loans. Suppose if you have OPC or private limited company, naturally on the shares, you will have to pay the dividend. On the profits, you will have to pay the tax. These all are called cost of finance. And again, your own salary, for your day-to-day to run your family, you need some money. That is you can take your contribution from the company. These all are called working capital. And when you talk about the using the machinery, using raw material, and incurring all those tax, what happens? You come with the finished product. And that finished product, you sell it to the customer. And the customer is going to pay you money, and that comes as your, again, goes to the kitty. And that is how the business cycle keeps on moving. So this is called working capital. Working capital, that means that circulating capital or day-to-day capital, which is required by the company. Now we will see what is funding, what are the funding institutions, and what are the business loan factors. Now, what is funding? Now, when the lender is providing money to you, and that money you need to pay back after a certain agreed period of time. And when you pay that money, you need to pay that principal amount with interest. That is called the funding. अभी ये जो फंडिंग है वो कौन से तरीके के होते हैं? पहला जो होता है that is bootstrapping. That means खुद का पैसा रहता है, पर्सनल सेविंग्स में आता है, नहीं तो आप पेरेंट्स से, नहीं तो फैमिली और फ्रेंड से लेते हैं. Then there are few incubators. उनके यहाँ से आपको suppose if you register with that incubator, वो भी आपको funds available करके देते हैं. With the same time, like government schemes are there, grants, subsidies are there, or financial institutions like banks or non-banking financial corporations. ये सब जो है वो फंडिंग आपको उधर से मिलता है. और ये सब मिलने के लिए थोड़ा सा वो जो प्रोसीजर है वो सबका ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर रहता है. दैट वी विल सी हाउ दैट गोज विथ. Now, these are the funding institutions. Those are the organizations which lend money or funds in the form of loan to individuals as well as to the businesses. Now, वो कौन से factors होते हैं ये lending institutions के यहाँ? पहला आपका लोन आपको कितना लेना है. That is, see, there are two types of loans. एक रहता है term loan रहता है और दूसरा working capital loan रहता है. वो term loan किसके लिए रहता है? वो term loan you can utilize for buying any fixed asset. आपका कुछ asset लेना है, आपको कुछ प्लांट मशीनरी लेना है, आपको कुछ कंप्यूटर इक्विपमेंट्स लेना है, ये सब के लिए आप टर्म लोन यूज कर सकते हैं. और वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन जो है वो आपको जो ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस जो है वो आपका वो ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस टू मीट दोज डिमांड्स यू कैन हैव वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन. ये सब के लिए अगेन द पीरियड ऑफ द लोन्स अगेन आर डिफरेंट. I'll come to that later. Then the second point which you need to consider is the repayment period. What is the repayment? That means इसमें short term भी रहता है और long term भी रहता है. Short term में maybe for 6 months, maybe for 1 year, 5 years, and long term is even 20 years, because you cannot repay the money which is taken to buy the machinery, maybe around 50 lakhs of you have given for to buy the plant machinery. That is not possible for you to repay the whole 50 lakhs maybe in 5 years. So that time you need to have more repayment period, maybe 20 years also. Then interest rate, again interest rate भी आपका जो गारंटर है, जो कोलैटरल सिक्योरिटी आप जो रखते हैं उसके ऊपर वो डिपेंड होता है. एंड द सेकंड वन इज द सिक्योरिटी, एज आई सेड, दैट कोलैटरल सिक्योरिटी और द प्राइमरी सिक्योरिटी. नाउ इसमें अभी ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड इफ यू कैन सी दैट इज अ मार्जिन मनी. अभी व्हाट इज दैट मार्जिन मनी? वो मार्जिन मनी मीन्स यू विल हैव टू पे ऑफ हैंड जो पैसा आपको देना पड़ता है, that is called margin money. And normally that margin money is a down payment. And now these banks, they give you 75 to 90% to you in terms of loan. But जो बाकी का जो 10 to 25% you will have to raise that those funds, because they need commitment from you also. That is the reason because why they are insisting that you also need to contribute your portion. That is called the down payment. That is 10% to 25%. This is called margin money. The second, I have already told you the duration of loan, then rate of interest. The rate of interest is also like 10 to 20%. It again depends what type of loan you are taking. If you are taking the government loan, then naturally the rate of interest is low. If you're going to the bank, 15%, 18%, all depends. And then guarantor. What is a guarantor? As I said, that the person or who acts as a guarantee, that is called the guarantor. Because वो जो guarantors रहते हैं आपके relatives होंगे, आपके parents होंगे, भाई बहन कोई भी होंगे, who suppose if you fail to repay that loan, वो जो guarantors होंगे, they are responsible to pay that loan. That is called, those are the guarantors. The next one I said that the collateral security or the primary security. What is the difference between primary and collateral? The primary means, suppose if you are buying up plant and machinery लेने वाले हैं, वो plant and machinery that itself is mortgaged with the bank. that is the primary security. And suppose if that is not sufficient, or suppose if you need for something else also, then वो जो collateral security है, आपके जो fixed deposits होंगे, आपका life insurance पॉलिसी होगा, नहीं तो आपका कुछ ज्वेलरी होगा, कुछ लैंड होगा, कुछ आपका घर होगा, वो सब लोग कोलैटरल सिक्योरिटी वो बैंक के साथ, बैंक के पास रखते हैं. और ये सब करने के लिए आपको प्रोसेसिंग फीस भी उनको देना पड़ता है. वो जो है दैट इज वेरी नेग्लिजिबल, दैट इज 0.5 to 2% or 3,000, whichever is a higher. That again depends how much loan you are taking from the institution. These all things which you need to consider when you are taking loan from the bank. Now, for this, you need to create the funding proposal. And there is a process to get the loan. And what is the checklist of this proposal creation? The most important, what banks see, they see your credit history. They see who are the, your collateral security, whether primary, collateral or anything. Then what is your living and business expenses, whether those are covered. They want to see your cash flow, and this cash flow has to be positive, or you need to convince them, whatever you are telling them, you need to convince that it is you are on the business is on the right track. Then the capitalization in the startup cost. If the value of the asset cost or purchase lasts for beyond 1 year and which continues to have economic value in future, normally those are capitalized. Suppose if you are taking a computer and the computer cost jo hai uska, wo cost, you are going to use this beyond 1 year, maybe 5 years. Then naturally that will go as your fixed capital, or you are capitalizing those expenses. And if suppose if you are taking any raw material, that is again only for that particular period, and that means that you cannot capitalize that, it will go as your expense or administrative expenses. Suppose if you are taking stationery, naturally you are going to consume that, and you are going to profit and loss account, it will go as an expenditure. Now the conditions, like how your working capital condition is, how much ongoing cost you have, what is the competitive, whether you have done the competitive analysis, how is the competition in the market, how is the industry trend going on, whether it is a traditional, whether it is a, is there any progressive kind of trend or not? Then what are the rules and regulations? These all are called the economic conditions. And at the same time, the bank is going to see everything. But many times there are reasons for denial of loans also. Why normally, sometimes you go and there are few of your friends, if they go and approach the bank, and they sometimes they deny to give you the loan. What are the reasons for that? Because see, all the reasons are obvious. Number one is the annual turnover which you have may be less. Maybe you are new in the business, so you are not in a position to create your, the sales. Then your credit score is low. I'll tell you what credit score is after some time. Then it is a risky industry, maybe the construction, maybe some the sector. Then there is no sufficient collateral, or there is not much scope of improving your cash flow, or your paperwork is not complete. And sometimes whenever you are applying for the loan, you need to study that what type of loan you are selecting, because sometimes your wrong type of loan also might get rejected from the company, from the bank. These all are the reasons why your uh, loan is rejected. Now, there are 10 steps to get the business loan funding proposal creation. Which are those? Like the first is you need to prepare your business plan. And for preparing the business, what is that business plan? That is, once your idea is finalized, it is a document which is to be written, what and how you are planning to do your business. Maybe the marketing, the financials, then your operations, everything, the workability, the feasibility, viability, everything you need to put it in that. And at the same time, how you are going to generate profits, because from the profits only you are going to repay the loan. So this is called the business plan. And for that, of course, deAsra is there to help you in preparing the business plan. Then you need to, as I said, that you need to identify the loan which is required, whether it is for fixed loan, term loan, or working capital, whether it is short term, whether it is long term, that you will have to find out. Then the next is that you need to prepare the project report. After the business plan, the projections are very important. Like in 3 years, how much sales you are going to increase every year, whether you are increasing the sales every year, how much operating cost you are going to increase, and at the same time आपको profit कितना मिलने वाला है. ये सब जो projections होते हैं वो सब आपके project में आपको डालना पड़ता है. Then आपको वो जो supporting documents है वो भी आपको देना पड़ता है. वो कौन से सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स रहते हैं? वो जो प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट तो आप करने वाले हैं वो आप उनको देना है. एट द सेम टाइम आपका आइडेंटिटी प्रूफ देना है. आपका पैन कार्ड होगा, आधार कार्ड होगा, ये सब देना होगा. देन एड्रेस प्रूफ देना होगा. देन आपका जो कुछ एक्टिविटी है उसका एक शॉर्ट एक उसको समरी करके देना होगा. आपका बैंक स्टेटमेंट, maybe of 6 months bank statements, maybe on personal level also, if you have started the activity, अभी वो आपका बिजनेस चालू हुआ है तो आपका इंडिविजुअल सेविंग का उनको बैंक स्टेटमेंट देना पड़ेगा. They just have to see whether this party is genuine, whether this they are in a position to repay our loans. That is the only concern they have, nothing else. But for that, you need to give all these information. And then with that, बाकी के जो आपके जो business के licenses हो गए, everything will also come in your supporting documents. Then the next is the, ये सब होने के बाद आपको एक अच्छा एक फाइल प्रिपेयर करना पड़ेगा. वो फाइल में एक सीरियल नंबर डाल के एक पूरा एक because that you should see that the person who is going to refer your file, he will not have any trouble in finding any kind of your document in your file. That is very important. So you need to have specific index for that, and accordingly you will have to prepare your file, and that also matters a lot to get your sanctioning your loan. Then resolve all lenders queries. ये सब आपका फाइल होने के बाद you will have to go through everything. You need to have each and every point, whatever you have mentioned in your business plan as well as in project report. आपको थोड़ा सा उसका स्टडी करना पड़ेगा. Because ये स्टडी करने के बाद वो जो बैंक है, when they are going to invite you for the interview, that time उनके जो queries होंगे वो सब आपको resolve करना पड़ेगा. Suppose if you don't know few things, आप उनको बोल सकते हैं, I will study this and I'll get back to you. But never ever manage those things, because the trust building is very important with the bank. So resolve all the lenders queries. Then ये सब होने के बाद your loan will be sanctioned. Get that sanction letter. Ensure that execution and signing of the loan documents. And ये सब होने के बाद आपको आपका जो margin money amount जो है वो आपको deposit करना पड़ेगा and get the disbursement of the loan to they will credit to your bank account. This is what the process is of getting the loan. Now, what are the things which you need to avoid? So confusing description of the business or your vision, whatever you have put into your business plan is important. If it is confusing, you may not get the loan. Then unsupported assumptions, because sometimes whatever the research papers or whatever the research document which you are going to submit, for that again there has to be some source of information, maybe from your the newspaper cutting, or maybe any magazine, or any kind of whatever your source of information, you need to put it over there. Then asking for too much or asking too little money. क्या होता है कभी कभी बैंक में जाने के बाद, अभी हम जा रहे हैं, why not instead of 5 lakhs, why not call for 10 lakhs? But उसको it cost, important is, and है मेरे पास, इसीलिए आप कभी कभी खर्चा करते हैं. So जितना चाहिए उतना ले लो, but at the same time ज्यादा खर्चा होता है तो कम मांगो, ऐसा भी मत करना. Don't ask too much or don't ask too little. You need to study your requirements so accurately, so perfectly, so that you don't go above your board. Don't use any jargons. Don't use any heavy phrases in your project report or your business plan. Make it very simple. There is no competition for my service, or there is no competition for my product. Don't never do that, because always there is a competition some way or the other. Mention those, and the numbers whichever are there, those should look should not realistic, not unrealistic. Because sometimes you are going to say that मेरा first year में 1 crore का sales होने वाला है. One cannot believe that, because it takes at least 3 years to reach a certain profiting business your break-even point, and after that your profits start. So numbers have to be realistic. These are the important things which you need to keep in mind. Now, when you are talking about the banks, you know that from the banks you get loans, but at the same time you also get the loans from recently this has happened, that non-bank financial companies also, they are you are getting the loans. They are also ruled by rules and regulations by RBI, and these are different from normal banks because they don't accept your deposits or saving. They don't have saving account and everything, but they are like Shriram Transport or Bajaj Finance, Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services, Chola Mandalam. These all the people who are going to give you the finance. And compared to the nationalized banks, to get the loans is easier in non-bank financial companies. Now, in the bank, you must have also heard about the Mudra loans, which normally we get the Mudra loans in 3 categories. One is the Shishu, Kishore, and Tarun. वो शिशु में अप टू 50,000 आपको मिलता है, जो स्टार्टअप और फर्स्ट टाइम एंटरप्रेन्योर्स रहता है उनको. देन किशोर इज 50,000 to 5 lakhs, and तरुण इज 5 to 10 lakhs. और इसमें गारंटी की जरूरी नहीं रहती है. देन प्रोसेसिंग फीस भी नहीं होता है, उनका ब्याज दर कम होता है, और वो मुद्रा कार्ड देते हैं. अभी इट इज लाइक अ डेबिट कार्ड. आपको जो कुछ बैंक का मुद्रा लोन मिलने वाला है वो दैट विल बी इन द बैंक. आपको जो कुछ पैसा मिलने वाला है, यू जस्ट यूज दिस कार्ड and withdraw that money or transfer it to the suppliers or something. And these are the most important. Is people say normally we don't get mudra because they are not giving us, they are not entertaining us. But why? Because we are not fulfilling their needs, requirements. That is why it happens, because naturally the bank people are going to see whether you are in a position to repay the loans or not. And if they feel, if they don't feel comfortable, or if they don't have any trust, whatever the papers which you have shown them or submitted may not be sufficient, you will have to talk to them why it is like that, why you are not giving us the loans, and then accordingly you will have to fulfill what their requirements are. Now normally all the banks, they are giving this, and roughly those are like 5 साल के लिए 7 साल के लिए देते हैं, and roughly their interest rate is right from 8% to 10%, 12%, again depends. Then there is one more government the scheme, that is the Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program. From that also you get a Rozgar Srijan loan. This everything is on the the online portals. Now MSME loans, that is micro, small and medium enterprises. For that you need to have at least the legal entity of your company, not the proprietorship is not possible. But for that there are 10 government MSME schemes in India which are popular. Those are like Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, then MSME business loans, SIDBI hai, then Stand Up India hai, Credit Guarantee Trust hai. Then there are many which are available, and इसमें आप चाहिए तो आप इसका एक screenshot करके ले लेना. Then in that, how you can apply that? Because these borrowers, they can apply online. उधर एक उद्यम मित्र पोर्टल है, और उसमें आपको जाके you can have the online as well as offline which are available with the banks also. इसमें आपका लोन का जो अमाउंट है वो आपको मिनिमम लिमिट नहीं है, मैक्सिमम ओनली अप टू 1 crore. Collateral is not required. Repayment tenure is from 12 months to 5 years. There are a few flexible repayment options also. Less paperwork is there. Hassle-free process is there. And what type of loans they are giving? Term loan, working capital loan, equipment finance, loans under government schemes. Those all are they are dispersing. And there's a fast approval, quick dispersal of those. And the interest rate varies from bank to bank. And these are, you can, even the startups, new businesses also, you can take these loans. Now, I was talking to you about the credit score. What is the meaning of credit worthiness? That means the ability to pay. It is called the credit score. Now, how you can identify what is your credit worthiness? Because it refers to the way a lender determines how worthy you are to receive the new credit or the new loan. Because it is all based on your history of repayment and credit score. What does that mean? That what, I mean, the credit um, card which you are using, how much are your dues? At the same time, you have taken vehicle loan, you have taken home loan, you have taken any other private individual loans. What are, whether you are paying EMI, that is equal, that installments to the bank or not. When you have not done accordingly, your credit score also gets affected. That is very important. And at least in credit card, suppose if you are not in a position to pay the complete, suppose if your bill is around 10,000 rupees, and if you are not in a position to pay complete 10,000 rupees, at least the minimum amount which is due, that you need to pay off. If you don't pay off that, again, your credit score is going to go down. This is called credit score. Now, in any credit score, later on, Prakash Agashe sir, he is going to tell you how it is to be seen. Then credit score jo hai, that is, there are CIBIL or CRISIL, or you can even do that on your website. I mean, the Paisa Fund or all those CIBIL or CRISIL websites. What you can do, you can just put your PAN card and see how, what is your credit score. Immediately you will come to know. Then there are two types of credit scores. One is a personal and the second one is the business credit score. In the personal one, there is the range is from 300 to 900. And normally, if your credit score is around 750, then you are liable to get your loan. Otherwise, if your credit score is around 300, 400, 500, you are not going to get the loans. Then that measure your credit worthiness as an individual. And when you have the higher score, you have got the higher chances of getting the loan approval. Now, exactly it is opposite in the business credit loan. It ranges from 1 to 10. And the measure of credit worthiness for the businesses, when there is a lower rank, you have the higher chances of getting the loan approval. And normally these are for MSME companies. Now, you will say that, oh my God, I was not, my credit score, I think, is going to be 400, 500, because I'm not paying my EMI to my loans. Then in that case, what is to be done? Whether am I not going to get the loans in my lifetime? No, it doesn't happen that way. You can always improve your credit worthiness. How you can improve that credit worthiness? It takes 1 or 2, 3 months. But of course, it is possible to improve your credit worthiness. To improve your credit score, you need to pay your previous debts, build your credit history, line up your references, and do the documents completion. You need to build your credit history. As I said, that how you can do that? By paying your credit card bills or your loan EMIs and everything. Then gather the documents. Why this is, sometimes you are paying the loans, but sometimes there is a error at the bank or your credit card bank. Then that time you will have to gather all the documents and just show it to them, and how they should rectify whatever the error which at their end which has happened. Then line up the references in case it is needed, and improve your personal credit score. Establish the business identity separately than as a sole proprietor, because you're, as an individual and as a business, you need to have a separate entity and pay down all your debts. That is how you can improve your credit worthiness. Now, See, you need to establish your business identity. How you can establish your business identity? See, for individual identity, what are there? There is a PAN card, there is a Aadhaar card, maybe your license or maybe your passport copy. These all are your identity. But how you can identify the business entity? Then there is a constitution of business, MSME certificate, then Udyam registration, GST registration, your local and business specific licenses, your personal KYC, and your trademark, copyright, patents, etc. Don't have that innovations that, oh my God, these all things which is required. No, initially these are not required, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you each and every point in detail. Now, we'll talk about the constitution of business. What does that mean? What type of company you have? See, there are two types. One is a single owner and the second one is the multiple owners. When we talk about the single owner, there are again two types. One is the proprietary and the second one is the one-person company. This proprietary is informal. Initially, you can have the proprietorship, but if you need any bank loan or any kind of grant, subsidy, or your government loans and everything, you need the registered company. And for that, if you need to have the registered company, but you need to be single owner, then you can have one-person company. It is like a private limited company, but this is only for one person, only one director is there. And in multiple owners, there are three types. One is the regular unorganized form of business, that is a partnership firm. The second one is the limited liability partnership, that is a combination of partnership and company. And the third one is a private limited company. Again, it has a legal entity, which is again the registered, that is under the register of companies. These are controlled. Now we talk about MSME. What is MSME? MSME is there are micro, small, and medium. It is a definition of government which is with effect from 1st July 2020. In micro, the investment is up to 1 crore, small is 10 crores, and medium is 50 crores. And as far as the turnover is concerned, it has to be less than 5. In small, 5 to 50, and medium, 50 to 250. This is what the definition is of MSME sector. Now, you can see this registration, MSME registration certificate. It is mandatory when you want loan from as I said, loan from the banks, the government agencies. For that, you need to have the MSME registration, and that is mandatory. And as far as the GST is concerned, again, if you are starting the company now, and if your turnover is, if you are in the manufacturing line, and if your turnover is less than 40 lakhs, then you need not have GST registration. And if you are in service providing business, then up to 20 lakhs, you are not required to register under GST. At the same time, GST audit is required only more than 2 crores. So initially, till you get established, government has given you lot of such kind of promotional kind of things for you to establish in the business, and later on you become master in the whole thing, and you can handle all sorts of challenges in the businesses. Then till that time, you have even the team or the consultants or the professionals with you to handle all these things. Then if suppose if you have only 10 lakhs of turnover, but you are dealing with e-commerce sites, that time, suppose Amazon, if you are product doing some consumer product, and if you want to sell through Amazon or any other e-commerce sites, but registration is required for e-commerce sites. Otherwise, you are not required to register. Then the next licenses come, that is the Shop Act, and different type of other licenses. I've taken only food license here. Shop license is required by all, because this entity employs all casual workers, full-time employees, contract-based workers, and everything. And basically to regulate their work conditions and to ensure workers' rights, to get that protection, the shop license is mandatory for all the shops, all the offices. This is what the Shop and Establishment Act license. And if you are in the food business, then you need to have this license, that is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. And if suppose if you are in import-export business, you need to have this IEC code, that is import-export. That is again easy to get that IEC code. These are, and suppose if you are in the chemical industry, if you are in some other energy or solar, everything, those are different kinds of licenses. You need to see which license is required to run your business. This is only I have given only for the food. This is how it looks like, the food and safety, and this is the Shop Act. At the same time, for even your workers, your employees, they need to have some protection. So that there are two types of compliances. One is for less than 10 workers and or 10 employees and more than 10 employees. For that, there are in less than 10, only shop establishment is there. And if you have more than 10, then you need to have employee state insurance scheme, then provident fund, and the gratuity. These are important. Now, very important point, normally the small businesses do not comply these things, but it is very important from your own business point of view to run your smooth, running the business, then to avoid the penalties, legal actions, stoppage of business, and the most important is to generate customers' confidence in your business. You need to have all these compliances, need to have the track. Suppose if you have to pay the GST, then income tax, everything has to be absolutely written in your diary when those returns have to be filed and everything. Now the KYC. What is the KYC? That is know your customer. The PAN card, Aadhaar card, your address proof, everything is important. For the proprietary, PAN card is important. Partnership, again, there are two partners, different partners. Aadhaar card will be there. If suppose there is a LLP, that is limited liability partnership, then for that company, again, that your company PAN card will be different. Now, I will talk about the intellectual property. What is that? The trademark, copyright, and patent. The trademark, normally it is the form of your logo, image, symbol, your words, letters, colors. If there is any specific, there is a you are creating a brand for your company. So you can always register if suppose it is any specific um, name is there, because for this LLP and private limited, now they have all the websites even on the this thing in your computer, that you can always, any name, and just put it on that, and you will come to know whether that company's name, whether somebody has taken or not, or whether you can take it. And accordingly, when you are registering your company, that time you will have to send this name to them. They will approve it and send back to you, and then you can register as a trademark, and that is how it will look like. The second one is a copyright. What is the meaning of copyright? Normally, these copyrights are for your literary or any books or any kind of printed material is concerned, and some artistic work, if it is there, like your films, your paintings, your music albums, all those things, those you can apply for copyright. And when you have any innovative kind of product which you feel that you have researched and it is not available anywhere, that time you can apply for the patent, so that it will be like your own property. Nobody else will use it commercially, or they can make or sell without your consent. That is called, it is patented. This is called intellectual property right. It is something special. Now the next is a financial formalization of business. There are three types. One is the books of accounts, bank, and income tax returns. When we are talking about, this government has given so much, इतना कुछ, ये startups के लिए उन्होंने दिया है. इनिशियली आपका जो कुछ होगा, इवन सपोज आपका जो कुछ प्रोप्राइटरी होगा, सो आपका जो कुछ इनकम है उसके ऊपर आपको सब प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, बैलेंस शीट सब करना पड़ता था. एंड एट द सेम टाइम you had to pay whatever the income tax as per their the slabs. But now this government has given you so much of freedom, like you need not keep your books of accounts up to 2 crores of rupees. But of course, for your own sake, you can have that. But you need not do the tax audit for this. And if suppose if you are in a profession, like if you are a consultant, if you are a doctor, if you are a lawyer, then that is only up to 50 lakhs. And this is, and at the same time, suppose if you are doing the business maybe of 50 lakhs, then on 50 lakhs, they will take only 8% of the, as profit. And again, in that also they have given the exemption. I suppose if you are doing online business, you will be charged only 6% instead of 8%. That almost it comes like negligible. So that is what this government has given you for the digital transactions and non-digital transaction. And you can, this is called presumptive taxation. That is 44 AD. That is the income tax section. As far as the bank is concerned, you need to have the current account only for any business account. And for the current account, you just find out what is the difference between saving account and current account, how that is to be operated, whether the interest, you don't get interest on current account on the balance which you have in your bank. But in saving account, you get around 2.5% on the savings. But in a current, you don't get. But that is compulsory. for any business to open um, current account. And the third one is the income tax returns that you need to file those returns. Maybe even if it is nil return, you need to file those. And again, for that, the tax audit, again, now it has increased in this budget from 1 crore to 5 crores. Up to 5 crores, you need not do your tax audit. But again, just because I have told you doesn't mean that you need to rely on this, because it again depends what type of business you have, what type of profits you have, what type of income you have. Accordingly, you will have to take this particular, your statement to the concerned person, maybe your audit, your accounts person, and just reconfirm whether you are eligible for these presumptive taxation and all, and accordingly you will have to pay, you will have to file your returns. Now the last point is the digitization of the business. Now you have seen that everything is digitized, and in the digitization, what has happened, that what does that digitization means? That it is basically the conversion of all the data which is there, is converted into the digital format. And in that, again, there is a adoption of technology, and that is how the digitization of the business has happened. And now in this, what banks are getting, the banks, there are no human errors in this. So naturally, and because of that, the banks can run on very few people, but the computer system, internet system has to be absolutely perfect. Then there is a lot of enhanced customer services there. There is a lot of convenience to the customers. It helps to save your time. You need not go to the bank for every small things also. But again, customer need to be very, very diligent about it, how to maintain your security, bank security also, that is also important. Then even your stock exchange, everything, all these transactions also you can do through your internet banking. You can transfer your money to the others, fund management. You can have transfers to bank, money market. Everything is possible in this. Now we are talking about in digitization. In that, you also know whenever you are transferring the money, you are either using NEFT or RTGS or IMPS. In IMPS or something, there are very little charges they make. Otherwise, NEFT is free. In RTGS, you will have to go and to the bank, on you can even do this real-time transfer of money. This is all internet banking, and that also that this UPI, that is Unified Payments Interface, has absolutely revolutionized the whole financial management. That is this GPay, Paytm, wallet, UPI, code, everything you can use, and immediately you can transfer money to the others. This is, and bank is, and the government is absolutely encouraging this mode of payment. That's very important. This is what the digitization is, and the business loan readiness program. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you are most welcome. And I'll request Prakash to take over to their business readiness, how that is to be checked.
Sure. Prakash, just before you start, we have a couple of questions that we might want to answer, or do you want to do it later? How do you?
Whatever is possible, even.
Sure. I think Prakash is on mute.
Prakash is on mute.
Yeah, so I will quickly go through the questions. Mr. Atul has asked that what are the legal compliances needed for e-commerce business for single owner? But I think you have grossly answered the question related to what are the compliances for a single owner. So I think are those the same ones that
Yeah, those are the same ones. Same.
same ones for the e-commerce? So Atulji, your answer is right here. Another question was with Akshay, Mr. Akshay. He said that can copyright be done for food recipes?
Done for?
Food recipes.
Yes, you can.
You can do
Yes.
copyright for your food
Yes.
recipes.
Yes.
Radhika ji has asked how to get connected to deAsra. All right, so sure. You can just call on the number that we will be sharing very quickly, and you can also visit the website and connect with us. If you are finding it challenging, you can also write to team@deAsra, and we will take this up immediately. Team@deasra.co.in is where you can write to. The next one is that can this PPT be shared? So the entire video will be available on YouTube on the Asra Foundation's channel. That's the answer. So that's for Food Passionista, one of the businesses. Swati ji has asked a question: is professional tax registration applicable to LLP?
Yes, it is.
It is applicable to LLP also. So Swati ji, a short answer is that it is applicable to LLP also. Pranav has asked a question: what is the difference between business loan, cash credit, and working capital? I think a little bit of technical.
Okay. Okay. Cash credit and working capital is the same. Um, cash credit is and working capital, that is mainly to meet the requirements of operating cost. It is taken, and the term loan is basically to buy the fixed capital, that is plant and machinery, or your building, or your computers and all those, which you are using more than 1 year. That is called the fixed term loan.
Right, right. So, Dr. Jyoti, just to add to that, जो CC हम बोलते हैं बैंक में वो
That is cash credit.
रोलिंग मनी के लिए हो सकता है,
Yes.
और जो हम टर्म लोन लेंगे वो बिजनेस लोन फॉर अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ term, which is 10 years or 15 years or whatever the term that you set with the bank.
Yeah. And one more point, that is a cash credit, as you rightly said, because I have already explained you what the business cycle is.
Correct.
Normally, the bank will give you the limit, maybe 50 lakhs is the limit, but that will keep, the money will keep on rotating, because from the suppliers you are not going to get that, and that is how it is going to add in your kitty. And you, whatever you are giving it to your raw material or other suppliers, that will go to the this thing to those suppliers, and that is how the money will rotate, keep rotating. And that is what the cash credit limit, what is called. It is not the loan, but it is a limit.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gopte. We'll move to Mr. Prakash. Prakash, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Anand. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
So I will present my screen. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, 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 visible.
Okay. As you have registered for this program, you must have received an email, and in that email, you will receive you have received one link for the funding readiness analysis. So you have to click on that funding readiness analysis link, then you will land on this page. As now here you have to select, just tick mark this so that I accept the TNC for using this tool. Now there are two types of business. First is the existing business, and then new business. So if you are falling into the category of a existing business, that is note we have written over here, select existing business if you are operational for more than 12 months. Otherwise, you have to select a new business. So at present, I am selecting the existing business. If you see on this tool, you have to write your business idea. What is your business idea, or what is the name of your business? Let's say if we say uh, tea shop, we are operated. We are doing operation since last 2 years, less than 2 years. I have selected this option. Then click on the next. Then you will find these questions. See, you have to select all the options that are applicable to your business or your team. So first, this section, this set of questions are for business identity and the financial formalization. You have seen in the PPT that there are lots of licenses, registrations are required, but we will go one by one and how you can answer these questions. So here, do you have your personal KYC documents such as PAN card, Aadhaar card, or address? Here you can answer yes. If you don't have any one document, you can say no. This is just analysis so that you can find the gaps at the end of the tool. Do you have a PAN card for your business? Now, this question is for those who have other than proprietorship concern as an entity. So if you are not a sole proprietor, then you can answer this question either yes or no. But if you have a proprietorship concern, select I have a proprietorship. Then do you have address proof of your business? It can be a rent agreement, ownership document like index to latest property tax receipt, paid receipt. Then you can say yes, I have an address proof. I have the address of proof of my business. Next question is, do you have a necessary registration, licenses, permissions that are applicable to your business? For example, such as Shop Act, FSSI, even Gram Panchayat NOC, such things are there. So if you have, click on yes. If you don't have, click on no. And if any of these is not applicable or not required for your business activity, you can choose this option. At present, I'm going to choose this option, yes. So do you have your business formation documents for those other than proprietorship concern, such as a partnership deed or certificate of incorporation, etc. So I have a proprietorship concern in this example. So I'm going to choose this option. I have a proprietorship concern. Do you have Udyam registration? If it is you have already applied and received it, say yes. If you don't have, you can select no. Do you have a GST registration if applicable to your business? Suppose at present in this example, we will consider that I don't have GST registration, or if it is not applicable to your business, you can select that option. Do you have a bank account? Yes, I do have a bank account. Did you file the ITR for your business for the previous year? If it is yes, you can select yes. If you not, then select no. Do you have the financial statements of your business for the last financial year? Financial statements such as a balance sheet, profit and loss account, bank account statement, etc. If you do have, say yes. If you don't have, say no. And if your business is existing for less than 6 months, you can select this option also. After selecting all these options, click on next. Now here comes the next section, that is credit worthiness. Now for credit worthiness, did you take any secured unsecured loan in the past and paid, or you are paying it back on time? That is most important. You are paying it on back on time. If you are paying it on back on time, then say yes. Do you repay existing loans regularly? If you have any existing loans, you can say yes. If you do not have any loans, you can say I have not taken any loans. Are the loans where you have given a guarantee regularly repaid? If you are not a guarantor to anyone, you can select this option. I am not a
Prakash, your voice is not audible fully. No, not yet.
guarantor. Now, hello, hello,
No, no. It's very
hello, hello. Is it okay?
no.
Just a minute.
No.
Just a minute. Let me check.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Now it is. Now it is.
Now it is.
Yes, yes, yes. Now we
Okay.
can hear you.
Yeah. I'll continue. So, if you are not guarantor for any loans, just select the I am not a guarantor for any loans. Then, do you regularly pay your credit card bills? If you do have a credit card and you're paying them on time, then select yes. If you don't, if you are not able to pay them at that particular time, then just say no. If you don't have credit cards, then say I don't use credit cards. In the last 6 months, did you apply for a loan and was the loan approved? If not, then you can select I have not applied for any loans. Can you raise margin money? Yes, I can raise a margin money. Can you provide the guarantors for the loan? Yes, I can pay guarantors for the loan. If required, can you provide the collateral security? No, I don't have any collateral security with me. So I will say no. Do you have sufficient cash to settle day to day or long term payments like salary, rent, EMI, etc.? Yes, I do have. After answering, please click on the next. Now, there is a section known as a digitization. So you have to answer these two questions. Now, these questions, just read it carefully. Do you use a digital payment modes like internet banking and UPI? Now, here you are using it, then say yes, whether it is an internet banking or whether you are using any UPI. Now, in next question, do you use any app, software, or Excel sheet to record your business transaction? This is the most important difference. That in earlier question, we are just asking whether you are using any UPI or internet banking for doing the transactions. But here we are asking to record those transactions. Are you using any app, software, Excel sheet, or something like that? If you are using it, say yes. Then click on done. Once you click on done, you will find this screen. Funding readiness is calculated based on your response to the questions. Please confirm your response. Once you confirm, you will see step number 6. You have to give answers to this first thing. Your phone number, email ID, then business name, your business sector, loan amount is required.
Prakash, your voice is not clear.
Now is it clear?
Yeah, now
Yeah.
it's
So once you fill all these details, you have to click on get result. Wait for a couple of minutes. You will land on thank you page. Once you land on thank you page, you have to check your email. I will just show you. See, you will land on this thank you page. You have got email. Congratulations. We have sent you the funding readiness assessment report. Now, here you have to check your inbox. You have received such, you will receive email.
You're not audible.
Prakash, your voice is not audible.
Hello.
Yeah, now it is.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So you will receive this report in your email. You have to download it. It will be in PDF format, and you have to check it. So thank you, everyone. If you have any doubts regarding this funding readiness assessment, uh, you can mail us or you can call us.
Great, Prakash. I think it was very insightful. आपने जो assessment tool दिखाया वो हमारे entrepreneurs के लिए बहुत useful होगा. And it is good to do this check. I think and keep updating all the documents, compliances, everything that you need to put in one place. It's a good practice to have all the documentation intact. And Dr. Gupte would also agree to this because sometimes you want the loan and at that time you want to run around rather than that having all of these things in place, and the assessment tool is exactly for that. Prakash, thank you. Dr. Gupte, thank you so much for all your guidance. We also answered all the questions in a crisp way. And I also thank all the entrepreneurs present. If anybody has any more questions, they are most welcome. आप हमारे deAsra के डिस्कशन फोरम करके एक पेज है हमारा वेबसाइट पर, वहां भी क्वेश्चंस पूछते रहिए, पार्टिसिपेट करते रहिए डिस्कशन में, and you will get more and more information about many things. So great, and we'll stay in touch. Let's keep connecting and keep sharing many more resources with our entrepreneurs. Thank you, Dr. Gupte. Thank you, Prakash.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.